Guys, I'm pulling this bad boy out of the second floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum. It's a 94 ZX-11 with 1,665 original miles, if you can imagine that. It's an absolute diamond. Came out of a collection in New Jersey that we purchased, and the guy had two of them. One of those was his daily rider, and the other one he just left in his living room and look at it and wax it every once in a while and ride it only on perfectly clear summer days. This is as close to a new example as you'll find anywhere. It was just tuned by Mark Olson. If you remember the name Mark, he's worked with us for over 5 years. Went on to work at a new bike dealership, and I guess he got tired of that, and he's back spinning wrenches with us. Mark's got over 30 years of experience. He's one of the best ATECs we've ever had here. Glad to have him back spinning wrenches, and nobody's better than him when it comes to tuning carbs. Take a look at those carbs. They're not only completely restored on the inside, but also the outside to like brand new factory condition, absolutely pristine. The entire fuel system's been gone through. He put 2 brand new tires on there. I'll get into the details on that in a minute. Let me give you a quick riding demonstration on it. Guys, feast your eyes at the class of 1994. This thing is essentially a brand new motorcycle. It has 1,667 miles on it, and it's all original except for the consumable parts like the tires and all the fluids. How did that happen? Well, the collector that we bought it from, we bought a dozen bikes off of him, had 2 ZX-11s. One was his daily rider, and he kept one bone stock on display, and just to have it, figuring it might be a good investment for down the road. In any event, this bike was the world's fastest production motorcycle made when it came out, and it held that title for years. It's an absolute rocket ship. The Kawasaki ZX-11, also known as the ZZR 1100 overseas, it's a flagship lighter class sport bike produced from 89 to 2001 in North America, marketed as a Ninja ZX-11. The other markets called it the ZZR 1100. It gained its reputation by being the fastest production motorcycle in the world. From its introduction in 1996, it held that title for 7 years. And that was at a time when superbike performance was rapidly evolving. It held the title for 6 years. It's a remarkable achievement. 1,052cc liquid-cooled 4-stroke, 16-valve, double overhead cam, inline-4 engine, 147 horsepower at 10,500 RPM with about 81 foot-pound of torque at 8,500. The key in carbs have a ram air induction system. When you crack the throttle at idle, you can just hear it suck in the air, and it has this really amazing sound. It was one of the earliest implementations on a production motorcycle and provided a boost at high-speed performance as air is forced into the airbox like a turbocharger. 6-speed manual, gearbox, final chain drive. Top speed was rated at about 176 miles per hour, enough to make it the fastest production motorcycle of its time. Early testing saw quarter-mile times in the low 10-second range with high speeds and impressive roll-on performance, even for today's statistics. Top speed recorded by one of the motorcycle magazines was 179 miles per hour, and the quarter-mile time therein was 10.1 seconds, exactly as you see this bike right out of the box. Twin-beam aluminum frame designed for stability at high speed. The aerodynamics were refined compared to the ZX-10 predecessor, reducing the drag by over 10%. Key to its high-speed performance. Dual front hydraulic disc brakes, single rear disc, 120/70 ZR17 front, and a 180/55 ZR17 on the rear. With a balance of sport and touring comfort, unlike some of the sport bikes in this era were brutal on your wrists after a little while, this thing was set up with a relatively upright riding position compared with the pure track bikes. It's historically significant because it was the world's fastest production motorcycle for years, quickest and fastest, until it held that record until the Honda CBR 1100 XX Super Blackbird overtook it in 96. It also was the first motorcycle to have ram air induction effectively, forcing the extra air pressure in the intake at speed to increase power. This was a notable engineering innovation at its time, and it left a legacy of beyond raw speed, of longevity, 12 plus years in production, and the combination of power, comfort, and reliability made it a popular choice among riders who wanted a street-legal superbike capable of long distance and high speeds. So you can put a set of bags on this thing, and it's super comfortable for sport touring. Put your girl on the back, head it to the beach, or head out on vacation. So very smooth and tractable, very relaxed for the kind of power this thing has. It's remarkably comfortable and smooth, shifts beautifully, clutches perfectly. Aerodynamically was ahead of its time, and still today's standards, it's competent compared to today's bikes. So the real world performance, bulletproof, and the on the road roll on power to this thing will still surprise a lot of leader bikes, because it's still relevant today. It is a classic. It's a 1994. It's 32 years old, so you could register this with a classic plates. It'll cost you peanuts, and your insurance will be peanuts over what a new leader bike would be. It looks the part, it sounds the part, has all the stock components on it, the original exhaust. Everything's original on the bike, original paint, and I have an extensive work order on this bike. It was recommissioned by Mark Olson, one of the best techs we've ever had work here at the museum. Mark worked here full-time for 5 years. He went on to do some other things in the industry, and he just came back recently. Glad to have him on the team. He's on the podium of the best techs we've ever had here. He's known for his ability to tune 4-cylinder engines unlike any other. He's on par with the Manic Mechanic, his ability to tune. And he went to town on this bike, went through every system on the bike, went through the fuel, took the fuel tank, cleaned and rinsed the fuel tank, completely split. I have like a 9-page work order. I'll show you guys, and you'll get that with the bike, showing about $1,100 in parts between the carb parts and the new battery. All the fluids were changed on it. The brake systems were completely rebuilt, front and rear. The front calipers were rebuilt with new pistons and seals. The front master cylinder was rebuilt with new pistons and seals, all new fluids, all new brake pads. The previous owner had put these brand new Michelin tires on here. Check this out, Michelin. I thought Mark had put these on, but he said they came with them. They've got maybe 50 miles on them. Michelin Pilot Power 3 tires. Expensive set of tires. He also put this new speed screen on here from Lockhart Phillips. The gauges are super crisp and look to be in brand new condition with 1,600 miles. The bars, the grips, all the paint is original on this bike. The upholstery is original. The pipes are original. Mark redid the rear brake system. He did it right. That's what Mark is a spectacular tech, and he went to town on this thing. He basically did a full recommissioning service. Every fluid on the bike was changed. The entire brake system was completely rebuilt with all new seals and pistons, not because it was worn out, but it's 31 years old, and you got to replace that stuff, especially when you have a bike that does 180 plus miles per hour, right? So you got to have good brakes. It's got to have good tires, and it runs perfectly. He's got it carbureted to the nines. The carbs were completely rebuilt with new floats, new seals, new jets, and he also synchronized the carbs once he got it running, so it's tuned to the nines. And there really aren't that many techs out there today that really know how to do a set of these carbs. Most of them are like Mark. They've been around for decades, and it's hard to find a guy like that to work on a bike like this. So Mark did a spectacular job. The bike literally feels like a brand new motorcycle when you hop on it. It's spectacular. It runs like new. It looks like new. It sounds like new. And like my dad used to say, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. I got to show you the work order here. Mark was very thorough on what he did. It also went to our detail shop where it was given a full rotisserie detail, steam cleaned, hand washed, every nook and cranny. They pulled the seat off to clean underneath the seat, and it looked like it just came out of the box. It was spotless. It has the manual, the original owner's manual in here also, and all the original cycle parts are on here. So this is the Pearl black mica is what they call the paint, I guess. This is the parts list right here. Brand new battery, new plugs, complete carb rebuild kit, new air filter element, new brake pads, new DOT brake fluid, new coolant, new OE fuel filters, new fuel petcock rebuild kit, new caliper rebuild kits front and rear, new master cylinder rebuild kits front and rear, new gasket for the fuel gauge, new filters for the fuel inside the tank. I didn't even know there was filters inside the tank. I guarantee you, most techs that work on this day have no clue that there's fuel filters inside the fuel tank. Well, Mark worked at a Kawasaki dealer for 10 years before he came aboard with us and spent 5 years with us. So he knows, he's factory Kawasaki certified and highly competent MMI graduate. He's been a professional motorcycle technician for over 30 years. So everything was done right. All the tubes and all the lines, the drain lines and the fuel lines and all the fuel filters, everything's brand new on the carbs. So this is the actual work order. That was just the parts page. This is the work order page right here. In the time that he did this in, it took him about 20 hours. I promise you that you're not going to find another shop that can go through all of these systems on this bike in 20 hours. If you're lucky, they'll get it done in 40, and at $150 an hour, that adds up pretty quick. But these are all the parts. So you'll get all of the parts lists with you. $1,097 worth of parts is installed, and the bike needs absolutely nothing. Just, this is pretty extensive documentation of everything that was done to it. So you're rest assured this thing's ready to hop on it and ride it cross country or roll it into your private museum. It'll be on display on the second floor right here in the New England Motorcycle Museum if you want to come take a look at it. But it's a world-class superbike that was carefully preserved for 32 years, and it's ready to go. It's basically, most guys would put 1,600 miles on their new bike in 2 weeks. We're 32 years later. It does have, I'll look for some patina. Let's go over it piece by piece and see if we can find anything on it. Couple of little, I don't even know if the camera picked that up, but I'm sure this could be buffed out. There's a little spot right here coming up the tank. Paint looks beautiful. There's a little discoloration right here. How's this side look? It looks spectacular. Let's look for some scratches. I don't see any scratches on here. Do you?
Nope.
Do you see any scratches over here? Where? I didn't see it.
This one right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And that would probably
Yeah. I was gonna say
that'll buff out. What's in and buff? This, I see a little tiny crack in the fender right here. It is 32 years old. The bike is not brand new, but it's in mint condition. Let's go around this side. Let's take a look around this side here. The side of the fender is perfect. I don't see anything on the fairing here. Do you?
Nope.
How about over here? Let's go down this side. I thought there was a scratch somewhere over here. I was pretty sure there was, or maybe it was the other side. That must have been it. Do you see anything over here? I don't have my glasses on, but do you? No. You're 25, so I'm 60, so I'm excused if I don't see it, but I don't see a single scratch over here. No. Then on the tank here, the tank badges are beautiful. The overall paint job, would you say this looks like a brand new motorcycle?
Yes,
pulling up?
100%, yeah.
But we want to, if you're buying this from California, we want to ship it to you. And this is the original paint on the center stand. Check this out. Usually they're all crusty and rusty 30 years later. This is the original sticker on the chain. These are the original exhaust pipes. Is that a tiny ding on the exhaust pipe right there? Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's a little tiny ding right there. But this looks really good up and through here. Nothing that couldn't be professionally buffed out if you needed it, but yeah, it's as close. I've pulled brand new Harleys out of the crate that were in a crate for 10 years that had more patina on it than this bike, just from the oxidization. Actually, it was a 100th anniversary, which would have been 2003, right? So yeah, I pulled, bikes that were sitting in crates for 20 years will show some patina, but it's got a little honest patina. It does have this tank protector on here, which is nice. It keeps it from getting scratched. It's a foam style, but yeah, I think I pretty much told you everything I possibly could know about the bike. It's as close to new as you'll find one, and it's tuned to the nines by one of the best techs that's ever spun a wrench here in Connecticut, for us anyways. So if you have any questions about it, give us a call, 860-454-7024. My son Kenny Jr. can hook you up and ship this white glove service right to your home anywhere in the United States. We also can finance it in-house, and we do take trades. But if you're looking for a classic super bike in pristine condition, your ship just came in. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.